Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
Okay, so let us start. Hi, Arjun. So in session one, we covered single page application overview. We discussed about that architecture and how it is different than traditional architecture. We discussed that. We compared it with traditional web app development. Right? Then we saw different features of ECMAScript 6 in session 2. We had So we'll start with component today, and if time permits, then I will cover template also, or template we will keep it for tomorrow. So right now we are starting with Angular 2 architecture. So yesterday we discussed something about TypeScript, right? And as I said, Angular 2 onwards, they are using TypeScript to write the Angular framework, right? And now we know why it is required or why it is necessary, right? So it provides those language services which are very important for developing huge applications in JavaScript. So TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript, and it gets transpiled to JavaScript finally. And TypeScript supports almost all the features of ECMAScript 6. The most important feature there is class, and that is there in TypeScript also. And now we will be creating classes in our Angular 8. Okay, so how to do that, we'll see. So anything that you want to revisit, or any concept, whatever we have discussed so far till TypeScript, we are okay with that? Can we go ahead with Angular architecture now?
Yes, yeah.
We are good, Sangeeta.
Okay. Thank you. I think out of 4 participants, 2 are aware about Angular 1.x, or they are very much comfortable and using Angular 1.x, if I'm not wrong, right? But still, Angular 2 onwards, it is entirely different architecture, and we are going to start from scratch. So, if you are aware about Angular 1.x, you are very much aware about this terminology like $scope, controllers, right? And Angular 1.x was following MVC architecture. But now, Angular 2 onwards, there are no scopes, no $scope, no controller, nothing, right? So they have removed that part from them. What is the basic advantage of MVC architecture? MVC architecture is nothing but model view controller, and it encourages separation of layers, separation of concerns. So model layer is separated from the controller, controller is separated from view. So we are working or our code, view related code, we are creating one layer, controller related code, we are creating one layer. So we are talking about separation of concerns. And if we require to change anything in the model, we need not have to touch our view. So this was the basic intention of MVC architecture, to have better flexibility and to have extendability. So if we want to add something, if we want to add some views, our model and controller layer might be intact. We need not have to touch them. So that was the essence of MVC architecture. But then we come across certain shortfalls. And then we started with another architecture. Angular first called it as, or the people, Angular community, they used to call it as MVW, that is MV whatever. But it is actually MVVM. So we'll see that. So when it was MVC architecture or Angular 1.x, model was your $scope. Controller, obviously, as the name suggests, they were taking the responsibility of controller. Controller is nothing but the link between model and view. If model gets changed, how the view must be updated. So that will be taking place through the controller. If the view, if there are some updates in view, how the model will get changed. So the controller always acts as a link between model and view in our standard MVC architecture. So here our M was $scope, C was controller functions, and view nothing but the view that templates or HTML page with Angular tags. That is how we created the view there. Now, how we will be using it? If there is no $scope, there is no controller, then what it has, right? So now they have changed the architecture to accommodate component architecture. So now here each portion of the view is nothing but a component. The view, the entire page view, we are definitely talking about single page applications. The entire view that which is generated, it is a combination of multiple components. one portion of the page is controlled by one component. One component is rendered as one portion of the view, some part of the screen. And the entire view is nothing but the combination of all those components. So there are multiple components which are generating the entire view of your page. Right? Now, how they are different than this MVC architecture? Here, M in MVC, M stands for model, and that is nothing but business logic, business data. Okay, or basically your business data, right? So that will be your model. And dollar scope used to handle the presentation logic, not business logic, presentation logic. So if you consider any dynamic view or part of dynamic view which is being seen in the browser, that is consisting of some data and some logic. So that logic, that is not your business logic, that is presentation logic, right? So there is some presentation data and some presentation logic attached to it. Now, when we are calling it as a component, we are clubbing together, we are merging this presentation logic with presentation data. Presentation logic, presentation data, and the view, actual view and the view logic, both we are merging together, and that is your component. In MVC layer, your view part was separate and controller part was separate. Controller will hold, it will hold the presentation logic. View logic, I'm talking about only view logic. I'm not talking about the business logic. Business logic is your model, M. I'm talking about view and the logic behind that view. So that was separate earlier in case of Angular 1.x. In Angular 2, presentation logic plus presentation, both are always considered together. They form a single unit, and that unit is component. Right? So what is a component? It is a self-contained object which own its own presentation logic. The view, suppose a small part of view is nothing but, what is it? Any portion on the screen which is being rendered, that is nothing but some component. So that component is being rendered, so it is being seen, and that view, to render that view, there will be some logic and some data that will be contained inside the component itself. So component contains the presentation logic, presentation data, and the actual presentation, that is view. Everything is now entirely together, and we call it as a component. So can anybody any specific advantages can you specify, or can you foresee any advantage of using this component model or component architecture?
Reusability. I think directives was serving same
Yes.
purpose in Angular 1, but here it is a
Perfect.
simpler directive, maybe.
Correct. Correct. And then they understood that now the future of this web is all components. React was picking up at that time, and those are all component based, and component is the future now. Why? Because we always need the reusability. And consider a calendar. Okay, so in that, suppose we want to create a calendar, that is a small portion on the page, correct? So that calendar, it will have its own logic, presentation logic, and it will have its own view. In MVC, it might be separated. So we don't want that, right? So this presentation logic of the calendar and its view, they are always together. So whenever and wherever I want the calendar, I can just pick it up and put it there. So this kind of unit we can work with when we are working with component architecture, and it is reusable. Wherever I need the component, its logic, view logic and view, it is together in the component itself. So it is reusable. So that is the biggest advantage of this component architecture. So a component is an independent software unit that can be composed with the other components to create a software system. Now, when specifying a component, that component is responsible for creating a part of the view on the page. So the entire view is nothing but it is clubbing of multiple components. Now, how those components will be arranged? For the people who are having 1.x Angular background, how the scopes are arranged? They are arranged hierarchically, right? In a tree structure.
Yeah.
Now the components are arranged in tree structure. So we finally view is nothing but the HTML, right? And it is markup language, and it can be represented as a tree. So whenever you are creating components and you are placing those components in the HTML page, you are adding certain tags into the HTML page, component tags into the HTML tags. So it becomes a tree of the tags. So definitely it can be represented as a tree of components. Right now, don't worry if you are not getting this particular thing of hierarchical way of components, how they are arranged. Forget about that right now. We don't need that. Okay. We'll discuss it later on also. So view and controller were earlier two separate things. So that might create certain issues when we want the reusability. We want something like wherever we need that particular entity, just we should be able to put it and add it in my code. To maintain this code becomes more complex with MVC, but with component architecture, you are working with small pieces. So now instead of MVC, now we are talking about MVVM, right? So model view, that is remaining same, and VM is nothing but view model. Actual view and view model. View model is nothing but presentation logic. That is together now. We are considering VM and V together. So there are other terminologies also. So one term which became more popular is MVVM, and Angular team they still inclined to use the term MVW. W is whatever. See, view is nothing but template, right? And then whatever logic or data, presentation logic and data, that will be inside the component class. Component will be something which will hold the logic, presentation logic. Now, how will you represent the presentation logic? What is the language you are using? TypeScript. So you will write some functions in TypeScript. So that function will be your presentation logic. Similarly, it will work on some data, that is your presentation data. Now that presentation data and that presentation functionality, that is together, where we are going to write it? What we have now in TypeScript, we have classes. So how do we create a component? That is nothing but a class. So we'll create a class, right? Inside the class, we will put the functions for our presentation logic. We will declare the variables for our presentation data. So that is taking care of VM. And then how the template will be there? That component, that class is coming with a template. So we can specify what should be its HTML view. So we'll see that. So this is how this VM plus view is our component. So now we will be becoming more comfortable with all these terms, whichever are mentioned here. We will go one by one, but we are not covering modules. We will start with components because modules is a comparatively complex entity. So first we'll start with components, templates, metadata, we'll talk about that. Then we'll talk about data binding. Then we'll talk about services. At that time, we will also see what is dependency injection and what are modules. Directives I will explain as the course progresses, right? So at the moment, don't focus on other part of this architecture. Just focus on this, the center part. Okay. Template or the view, that is nothing but the tags, right? So you are creating a view using some HTML tags. That is your view. And that view is bound or it is attached to a class. And that class will have the presentation logic and presentation data. So that class with the template, we call it as a component. Other things we need not have to worry right now. What is property binding, event binding, we are going to see all this. We are going to see how injector works or DI works in Angular at the time of services. Okay. Then just go through this. Okay. HTML templates with angularized markups, that is tags. So now along with HTML tags, you will be using some Angular tags also, right? So it is a combination of Angular tags plus HTML tags that will create your view. So that is about V and VM. But what about M? That is model, business logic. That should be held in the services. Services should take care of the business logic and business data. So services are your M or model in MVVM. So we'll discuss that modules and what is root module. We'll cover that later on.
Any
No,
specific
I don't
reason why business logic should be in services, not in component?
Yes. See, if you are aware about single responsibility principle, right? So there should not be any entity which is taking care of more than one responsibility. Why that single responsibility principle is there? To write more maintainable and extensible code and more clean code, right? Now model is nothing but your business logic, right? And what is the responsibility of the component? It should take care of view. So your view should not get cluttered with your business logic. Your business logic should be clean and clear, and it is separated from your view logic. We should never mix them up, right? Components are creating the view, their responsibility is view, while model is an entirely different responsibility, that is business logic and business data, right? So components should not take care of business logic or business data. We should have a separate entity for that, and that is services.
Okay.
Yeah. Modules, we'll be visiting this slide again later on. You want it because it is little complex modules. First, we'll start with some simple things, that is components. Okay, no need to remember all those things. Right now, for us, component is nothing but view plus view logic, right? So what it is saying, all those points are actually making one single point, that is whatever is required for creating a component should reside inside the component. So every component should be self-sufficient. There should not be any dependency, any other dependency for that component which is not within that component. So it should be a self-sufficient unit. That's what the whole point is. And if it is not possible, if the component has component is not self-sufficient, and if it is having some different thing, maybe for instantiation it needs something else, then it cannot be work as a component which is reusable and which can be just picked up and put wherever you want. So that we will be losing that particular advantage that we are looking at. That is why it should be always a self-sufficient unit. So instantiation, how they are getting instantiated and what they all require, everything is there inside the component only. We'll see that. So we can say that component has two parts, right? One part is view and one part is view logic.
To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 3D99 plan and grow your skills immensely.
So view logic is nothing but some functions, right? Some data and some function where we are going to declare that inside the class. So component is nothing but a class that we will be creating. And that class will have a template. That template is nothing but the components view. And this component, suppose I am creating a component 1 or suppose calendar component. So this is just a part of the screen. And the entire view is nothing but the different components. Okay, so now let us start with doing something, some hands-on, right? Then we'll come back to this slide. Otherwise, it will be much theoretical. So I think you have Angular CLI.
Yes.
Yeah. So we will be using that. So Angular CLI is a tool provided by Angular. So we get a running blank application ready. Okay, and then we can go on adding our components and other entities to that application. A blank structure, a blank application which is already running, that is created through Angular CLI. So that is a tool provided, right? So I think you can give yourself on mute. I think there is some noise in the background. So first, for creating the application, we will use ng-new. And then for generating a component or pipe or any other entity, we will use the command ng-generate. And for running the application, we will use ng-serve. So it will start the server and your application will be run. So go to your Visual Code. Right? And check the Angular CLI version. Okay, sorry. So give the command ng, not Angular CLI. So now first, let us start creating the first project, right? First application. What is the command here? To check which one I have. So would you like to add Angular routing? I am just giving some all defaults. So it will create an application which is already running. So So your application is built or still it is working?
Still it's going on.
Yeah. So we'll wait for 2-3 minutes more so that everyone will be on the same page. Let me know if it is done.
Mine also done.
Okay. Shri Prada, can we go ahead? So once we create that, we will go to that directory, right? So go to that directory, cd hello app. Yeah, thank you. And then give npm start or ng serve, whatever. Go to that project directory, cd project name, Then give command ng serve. So it will start the application. It will start running. Right? And you can see the message also that it is listening to localhost 4200. So now go to Chrome and just open that localhost 4200. So this is a application, running application, which is ready, right? Now we can work with our components, whatever we want to create. So basic unit is ready. Basic project is ready, right? So now this view, whatever view we are able to see here, this view is created by certain components. Maybe one component or multiple components. But this entire view must be created by certain components, right? So now let us go to our project directory and let us find out how this view is being created. So Angular CLI creates a project which is running, okay, which is already having the basic all things which are needed to run an application. So if you see this hello app application which is generated, right? This node modules nothing but all the libraries which are required, which are getting downloaded in the node modules, right? So how those are getting downloaded in Java? As we have Maven, it understands the dependencies from pom.xml file and accordingly it downloads all the required libraries, right? Here similar thing happens through node npm, right? So it requires a file package.json. In the package.json file, all the dependencies are there. According whatever dependencies are required, whatever libraries are required for your Angular application, Angular 2 application, those will get downloaded because those are getting mentioned in the package.json file. And all those libraries are getting downloaded inside this node modules folder, right? So this is my package.json file. If you see, so it automatically creates all these things. We need not have to worry about this. So it just asks us whether you require router, right? So if we say yes, it adds that also. But whatever is otherwise default, everything is getting added automatically here. So this is how the package.json file is created, and using this package.json file, all the libraries mentioned, dependencies required here, those are getting downloaded automatically when the project is getting created, right? So right now our focus should be only on this SRC, right? Other things, just let us ignore for the moment and let us look at the SRC folder. So in the SRC, you can see app. So go to app. Now what you can see here, there is app.component.ts, app.component.html, app.component.css, and many things are there. Okay, but if you see, every file here is starting with app.component. Okay, forget about app.module right now. We'll come to that later. Okay, so we can see now app.component.ts file and app.component.html file. Okay, so this is nothing but our component files. These are our component files, right? So the initial first component, whatever the first view which is generated on our page that we saw in the browser, that is getting generated through this component, app component, right? Because we can see here right now there is only one component, app.component. So app is the only one component available here right now, correct? So whatever view is generated, that is through this app component. Okay, now open the index.html page. Your starting page in your application is always index.html, right? So please open that page, index.html, and then see this page is getting loaded. This page is getting rendered in the browser. So what is that which is being rendered on the page? That Angular view, how it must have been created. So all that stuff, it is not creating the responsible for generating the view for head, whatever is the body, that is only generating the view. So in the body, we just have something called as app root tag. So what it could be? This is your component. How will you render a component on the page? You will use certain tags to place that component, to link that component in your DOM tree or on your HTML page, right? So here what you can see, inside the body, there is only one tag, that is app-root. And we know that this is not HTML tag. So this is something Angular related. So this is an Angular component which we are placing here through app-root tag, right? And that component, whatever view we are attaching to that, that is getting rendered inside this body, because we are placing this component app-root over here, right? Now let us go through the actual component files. So where that class will be available, that component is nothing but a class, we said, right? So what could be the file? app.component.ts. That ts file, that is TypeScript extension .ts file, that will have your class, right? So let us open that. Now look at this. First, focus on the line number 8. Okay, class app component. So it has created one first basic component, and its name is app component, right? Now this class, we know what do we mean by this export? So this class is available outside only if this is being exported. So for this class, we will write export. If I am creating a component, I will write export for that component, then it can be used, right? Now export class app component. This is my simple class. and that is my component, right? And now that component can hold any business logic and presentation logic and presentation data. So title must be some attribute that we are declaring inside the class, right? And that title we are giving some value, that is hello app. Okay, now this is the view logic that is contained inside the class. What about the actual view of the class? First thing, this class app component, it should be treated as a component. Angular framework should understand this class as it is a component. So how it will be identified that this, suppose only by giving the name as app component, it will not become an Angular component, right? This class should become an Angular component. For that, we will provide one annotation provided by Angular, and that annotation is @component. So we are decorating this class with the annotation @component. From where this @component annotation is coming? It is coming from Angular core library, right? So this annotation, unless and until I annotate the class with @component, this class is not qualified as an Angular component, right? Now for this component, it has created this annotation @component. When you create a new component, again that class, whatever name you are giving, that class will automatically have that @component annotation, right? Now in the @component annotation, there are multiple properties. Okay, so through this we are specifying view. Inside the class, view logic will go, view data will go, and inside the annotation, the view of the component will go. So in the @component annotation, we have one property, template URL. So as the name suggests, we are telling what is the template for this component, what is the view for this component. So we are specifying the view is app.component.html. Do we apply some CSS to that HTML? So we can specify that also. What is the style URL? app.component.css. So by using template URL, we can specify what is the view page of our component, what is the view of our component. Okay, either I can use here simply template instead of template URL, and I can write the entire HTML view there itself in the inverted comma, like as a string. I can write the entire HTML page here, but better way is to create the component view as a HTML page and specify its name, its path as template URL, right? So now let us see what is the view of this app.component, our app component. So the file is app.component.html, right? So whatever is here, that is being seen on our page in the browser, right? So I will do one thing here. I will just remove all this CSS. Okay, let us remove. You can also remove it from your end. Okay.
To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 3D99 plan and grow your skills immensely.
I'm removing all this stuff. We'll create our own view for the application, right? We don't want this. Okay, now just look at the browser. So it is showing something, some style, something well done. So is it showing in your case? We just want to see hello world or something. That's all. We are removing all other things.
If I'm just giving hello world, it was showing that
It is showing.
without anything in the app.component.html. I'm just adding hello world. That was showing. That is showing.
Huh. So here actually. So I have removed all other things. Okay, we don't want that, because when the Angular CLI creates the application, right? So it shows multiple different links to different Angular material, Angular like if you want to explore more in Angular technology, then what you can explore first. So tutorials, everything it shows. But we don't want. I just want that my component should say app is running. Okay. So is it showing in your case?
Yes, it is.
It is, right? Okay. Now go to your app component.ts file. And here we have declared one variable title equal to hello app, right? I want to show this value on the HTML page, right? So is it showing that? Hello app is running. Now it is saying hello app is running, right? So whatever is the title, it is showing it here. Okay. Now go back to the code. See, your component class, whatever you declare here, the attributes, right? So all those are available to show it on the view, correct? Now, how to show that, how to refer to that variable on your HTML page? So you need Angular expressions, and those are curly braces, double curly braces. There you can mention the attributes, and at runtime, whatever it is value, that will be displayed, right? So this title we are adding in the components view like this. Okay. Another thing, how do we specify that how this component should be displayed? If you remember, in my index.html page, we have seen something like this, app root, right? So how it knows that this is the component to be displayed here? Right now it is correctly showing that app.component.html page, and its view, that component view is being seen. So this is some sort of metadata that again we are specifying in our @ component annotation. So go back to your component.ts file. We understand what is template URL. There is one more property, that is selector. So what is the selector for my component, my app component, app-root? I can specify anything. Wherever I want to render this component on the page, I will use this tag app-root. That is my selector for this particular component. So can we say that this whole unit, this has the view also, and it has the view logic also, right? So this is my first component, and that is getting rendered wherever I'm using this app root. So this much is okay, or any queries here?
Why something is importing in the component? Some component is importing there.
What is important in what?
In component.ts.
TS file.
Yeah, import some Angular or.
Correct. Okay. So line number 1 you are saying.
Yes.
Correct. Okay, I missed that one. Right. So see. We are writing class app component. This is a simple class writing which we can write inside any of our TS file, right? I can name that class as A, B, C, whatever. How this class will become an Angular component? It has to be qualified as an Angular component, right? So then only Angular is able to manage this component or render this component on the view. Only if this becomes this class that I have written, it should become a component, Angular component, right? So I have to annotate this class with @component. Now this @component, who is providing that? What it must be? It is some class which is written and provided by Angular API. So this particular @component annotation, it represents some class which is already written in the Angular library. In which Angular library it is present? Angular core. So when I want to use some functionality from some module, what I need to write? I have to import that. So we have to write import. What we want to import here? Only component. So we are specifying import component, and this is the syntax. In the curly brace, I will write component from where it is present @Angular core library. Once this is done, then it is not giving me the error for @component, right? So yesterday we saw, right? If I'm creating some class, some function cube, and I want to use it in some other, then I will import that. But first that has to be exported, that function. Here again, this app component I can use somewhere else because I'm writing export. Otherwise it is not available. Similarly, this @component, this is written inside the core library and it is exported from there. So unless and until I import that, I'm not able to use it. That's fine.
Yeah. Like in the component, you are providing selector, template URL, select style URL, all those things, right?
Yes.
So any other options we can provide there, like unless selector, template URL, select URL, template.
Yes. There are 2 more. We'll see that.
Okay.
So it is all whatever is related to view part. Okay. Now there is one more property there provider. When we are going to use that, we'll see. Okay. But important one is selector and template URL. or template URL or template. If you are specifying the view, all entire view you are writing here, then make it template. Okay, and then CSS, that is for styling. So you can add that also. There is one more, that is provider, but we are going to see that at the time of services. So now that is fine, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Can we go ahead? Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other doubt? Anything? Any query is there?
No queries.
Okay, fine. Now, now I'm giving you one assignment. Okay. Show today's date in the browser. But what we want, okay, first you do it here in the same component, you make the changes, and then you will create a different component, date component, and that you will need to add here. The first assignment is just to display today's date on the page. Now remember, this is a class, so we can write constructor also. So let us do it right now. So let us keep that title as it is. Okay, we will not modify that. And now what we want to declare, one more variable to show the date. So let us call it maybe today. So why I'm using this colon there, and why not equal to sign? You are getting that? What is the difference?
The type.
Yes. So this is a TypeScript. So we can specify the type. By using colon, we specify the type, right? And in TypeScript or in ECMAScript also, there is a type inference concept. Look at line number 9, title equal to hello app. There we are not mentioning the type as string, but still it will infer the type as string because we are specifying the string. We are giving a value, setting the value of the title as string. Okay, so that is also possible. Type inference is also there. Okay, now here we are just creating today as a parameter, as an attribute here in the component. What next we need to do? How to initialize it? Let us use the constructor now. How would we create today's date object? So this is our simple JavaScript, right? What else? We are creating the date object. in the class, but we have to show that. So we have to change our HTML page, components view. Okay. So when we are working with component, presentation logic we will write inside the class, and actual presentation we will write it on the template. And template is very much part of the component. So component is VM, V plus VM, view plus view logic. So it's working, right? Now, what we want to do, we want to create a new component that we want to name it as date component. Okay. So I will remove this today from here. Okay. Let us remove it. And today is not part of this app component. We are creating another date component. Okay. So remove this all. Then we don't need this constructor right now. So can you create a component now? How to create a component? NGG.
See.
Yeah. Create date component and then put that logic of date and show that date on that component. So that is an assignment. What is the command for creating the component? NGG or ng generate component and the name of the component. Please complete this assignment. So we are given the command as ng component date. So it has created this date component. So in date component.ts file, right?
To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 3D99 plan and grow your skills immensely.
So here in the component class, date component class, we'll put that code. Right? This dot today equal to new date. Okay, we have to declare it here. Sorry. Today its type is date. Right. And now look at the HTML page of this its view. It just says date works. By default, it's any component that you create, its view is that component works. So here let it be. Then we'll put here today. So, right. Now, where to put this date component? I want to show the title also. That is, app component should be seen and date component should also be seen. What is the selector for date component? App date, right? So I want to use this selector. Wherever I am placing this selector, this component, date component, will be rendered there. So I will add it on the app components view. So after title, anywhere, anywhere, so by default it adds that import line. When it creates the component, it adds that class, even it implements that interface, we'll see that later on. And then that class gets annotated with @component. So all default things are being done automatically. Right? So now let's see. Yeah, it's showing. So I think it's working for everyone.
Yes.
Yes, it's work.
Okay, good. Okay. Now let us move ahead. Okay. Now what we want to do is we will consider one entity, maybe book. Okay, and we want to show book ID, book title, and author name on the page. So how would you proceed? I just want to display values of a book ID, its name or title, its author, and its price or whatever. Should we create one more component?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a component we will create. Okay, but how will you consider the book as? How will you do that? How will you create a book?
Book is a component which include all those properties with that.
Okay, so you want to create a book component, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you are creating a book component, maybe, but book component, when we are saying it should display the book, but book itself is a separate entity. Book will have a separate type, right? Book itself should not be a component. Book component will display the book. So how will you create the book? Book has different attributes, right? ID, title, and author. My question is, suppose we are creating book component. In the book component, we will declare a book whose type will be book itself, right? Here, look at line number 9 right now on the screen. Today is a variable which is of type date. Similarly, what we should write? Book component has a responsibility of showing the view details, book details, showing the book view. But book component, inside the book component, we should not declare book ID and different things like title or author, right? So what we need to do? Here we are calling it as date component, but are we declaring date DDMMYY inside that date component? Today its type is date. Similarly, I want book variable name, its type should be book. So how will you create that book type? Yes.
Any interface?
No, interface we will not create right now. It
Class?
should be a class. See, when we want to create an object, it should always be a class. It cannot be an interface. When we just want to, this is the concept in TypeScript that I am telling you. Okay. In TypeScript, when you want to create an object, you will always create it as a class. When you just want to create a type to specify somewhere, there you don't need the object. You are damn sure that you don't require an object of that interface type, of that type. Then you will go for an interface. We'll discuss about interfaces later on. Right now, we need an object which is of type book. So that book must be a class. It cannot be an interface. So we should create a class book, right? And a component book component. Inside the book component, we'll declare a variable book which is of type book, B capital. That B capital, that book is a class. Fine. So, okay, let us start creating a component now. And in the same component file, we can create a class also, another class. Apart from that component, book component class, we will create one more class there, and that is our book class. Fine. So let us start doing it. When I'm saying component book, it will create book component. Book component has to render the book. Book itself is a different entity. It is a different type. Yeah. So it must have created the book component. Yes. So we can see here. Okay. So now let us open the book component.ts file. Correct. Now here, can I write a class here? Export class book. And here we will declare its structure. It will have ID. Its type will be number. Then title. It will be string. Again string. And let us have price also. It will be again a number. Once we create this type, okay. Now can we declare a book type of variable here? Okay. So now Okay, we can write it here. Like we can give the values here itself, right? We are dealing with a single book right now. Or we can write it inside the constructor also, anywhere. Sorry. Mm. So this is pipe checking. I have not specified other values, right? So ID title. What else we have here? Author and price. Right? So this book we have initialized, right? Now what next? Where to write, how we want to show it, right? So book.component.html page. So display all this. Whatever you want, right? And then where we would place this, maybe on app component. So on app component HTML page. Okay, what is its selector value? and let us change the title to bookstore. So is it working?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So right now we have created this book in the same component file, but usually we will create a separate .ts file, maybe book.ts, and in that we will write export class book, right? So your component should hold only component related code and view. Book is a separate entity, so it should be kept separate. So it should be created as a separate .ts file, maybe book.ts file, and then we can write the class there, and then that will be, we will import it on our book component, right? So now we are okay with this basic component things. Now we'll just a small example, because we have just 5 minutes, so we'll just okay. Just go to your app.component.html page. So we have title here, right? So just put a bar there. Just vertical bar. Okay. And then mention uppercase. Okay. And just check the output now, whether it is showing it in uppercase. Right. So look at this bookstore. It is showing the title in the uppercase, right? Now for the date also, just make one change there in your date component HTML page. Again, use a bar and mention date. You can simply mention date, so default format will be taken, or if you want it in a particular way, you can specify it like this. Okay, maybe I want it in DD just make this change and check what happens. You're getting that date in the required format, right? Why it is date? Okay. So if you see here, the syntax is we are using that bar and then we are specifying something. So this is the syntax for pipe. Pipe is nothing but formatting your output. Okay, so you may want to format your dates in a specific way. You may want to format your numbers in a specific way, or even strings, whatever, right? So for formatting, the pipes are used. Pipe is an entity, again in Angular 2 onwards. Earlier it was filter, now it is pipe. So it is used for formatting. Now when we are using here this pipe and then date, so we are using date pipe. Okay, when I am saying it as uppercase is a pipe. So those are built-in pipes. We can create our own custom pipe also, but these are the built-in pipes. Pipes are used for formatting the output in a particular way. How to create our custom pipe, we will see that also. Earlier, when I wrote here a small mm, it was giving me minutes, right? So it should be so that format you should be very careful while giving the format. But this is a built-in pipe, date. So there are many such built-in pipes available. So today we have seen components, and tomorrow we are going to see master detail component and how components will communicate with each other. And then we'll start with services and dependency injection. So so far, are we okay? Or any doubts, anything is there? We can discuss that right now.
I'm good.
Okay.
Our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 3D99 plan and grow your skills immensely.
Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest.
Thanks for watching.